So, Sony just had their state of play, and it was pretty good. Like, it was shockingly good. I didn't really expect much coming from Sony at this time, but I was sorely mistaken, and I was kind of blown away. Not at first, because the first thing that they ever did during that state of play was have a trailer for a state of play. Like, they had the trailer, and they just had the showcase. After that initial trailer, they had a remake for Jedi Knights of the Old Republic. They didn't really show much for this game, but they didn't really have to. I mean, it's Star Wars. Star Wars is a very popular IP, so once you see that little flicker of a lightsaber or something, or the little shadow of a mask, you know what you're getting into. So I would hope that they would just keep the trailers at that, but that's not how video games work. This was perfect for a trailer. This is all I had to see. This was it. If they would have cut off the trailers then and had no more trailers until its release, I would have been fine with it. Because I love really short and ominous trailers. They're my favorite. I'm not really the biggest fan of Star Wars as a whole, but I am kind of hyped for this game just because of that trailer. The next game that caught my eye was Project Eve. It looked really good visually, but I'm not really sure about the genre that it's going for, which is like a JRPG style. JRPGs aren't really my thing, but maybe I'll get this game eventually, just to try it out. There's games during this state of play that I didn't really care for. I still want to try them out, just because of the visuals. I feel like the visuals have gotten so good recently that I feel like any game that I play, I'd have a good time, just because I was looking at pretty visuals. The next game, Wonderlands, had one of the most annoying trailers that I've ever seen in my life. It was full of this voiceover that was sounding like a 5-year-old on helium, trying to narrate the gameplay and what this game was all about, and I just tuned out. Actually, no, I didn't tune out. I wanted to skip it. I just wanted to skip this because it was so annoying. It was awful. I didn't care what this game was actually about, but the person narrating over the trailer was just so annoying that I couldn't focus on anything else. Forspoken looked like a pretty good game, had a nice little mystery, had some interesting visuals, and had big monster battles. I mean, there's not much else I would want from that trailer. It was pretty good. Don't really know much about the plot, which is perfectly fine. It's kept pretty vague, so it's a lot of room for speculation, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm definitely keeping my eye out for that one. From the looks of the trailer, the new Rainbow Six game looks like it's taking a lot of cues from horror and monster horror, which is awesome. That sounds great. I never thought a Rainbow Six game as a horror shooter, but I'm down for that. Wasn't really initially impressed with the trailers, but now that I saw this trailer, this looks pretty interesting to me. I'll probably pick this one up. Alan Wake. What a classic. And now it's being remastered. That sounds fantastic. I'm so glad that they are finally remastering this game for newer platforms, because this was one of the best games on the Xbox 360 and PS3, and I'm glad to see it finally remastered. I mean, it should have been a no-brainer, but oh well, one more time, I guess. Didn't hurt anybody. Better late than never, I guess. Just as a little side note, when this trailer began, for some reason I thought this was another Heavy Rain game. I don't know why. Announced as the remaster for GTA 5. Finally got. Everybody saw this coming. So I don't even know why they decided to include this. But whatever. Try and milk the cash cow, I guess. I mean, I never owned a version of the game for myself that I just owned. So I'll probably pick this one up just because it's the newest. So I mean, and it's the most improved. I'm still kind of mad about this release, but I'll buy it anyway. Who am I kidding? I'll buy it anyway. Ghostwire. This really reminded me of what Cyberpunk 2077 could have been. I gotta say, the combat for this game looks pretty interesting. Deathloop looks pretty sick. This game looks like it's got some chaotic energy. At least that's what I got from the trailers. And it's combining its chaotic energy with time loop mechanics, which time loop mechanics are already chaotic in itself, so this looks like a great chaotic mess. Like, this looks like a trippy ass game. I love anything to do with time travel, so to see this put into a game and have it look so good in a game really gets me hyped. Wolverine. A very interesting choice for a video game, and I'm not mad about it. Usually when studios try and make a superhero game that's anything other than Spider-Man, it never turns out good. So, to see a Wolverine game get the green light and to get a trailer during this state of play, that gets me kind of excited. The question that I have, and that a lot of people probably have, was, is this game going to be M-rated, or are they just going to stick with the T rating? Because Wolverine's pretty violent, so it would be kind of natural to see him in an M-rated game. This game looks in good hands coming from Insomniac. Gran Turismo 7! Let's go! This was rumored all the way back when the PS5 first came out, and then it got delayed from 2021 to 2022 when COVID hit. But now it's here, and it looks great, and I cannot wait to play it. The magnum opus, the cream of the crop, Spider-Man 2. And yet again, they didn't show a lot, and that's great. All they showed was that Peter and Miles would be teaming up in this game, which was the natural progression from Spider-Man to Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then to this game, that was kind of a natural progression of the story. And then they showed us that Venom was going to be the main villain of this game, or at least that's what it looks like, and that's what everyone thinks. So I'm just going to go with that. But who knows, they could pull the rug out from under us and introduce somebody else that's even better, that's even bigger, and that's even better. But to see Venom in this game is great. His character model looks great, and I can't wait to see all the creative things that they're able to do with him. Sadly, this game doesn't come out until 2023, which means I have to wait a little bit, but that's fine as long as this game looks amazing once it is done. God of War Ragnarok looks great. That being in terms of graphics and story. Can't wait to see where this story goes. Looks very interesting. This game was such a big IP for Sony, I'm surprised we got as big of a trailer as we did. Like, they showed a lot. They showed a lot without telling us anything. That I appreciate. Those amazing environments and those amazing characters that you got to meet throughout the game. But they never told you how these environments and these characters would mesh into the story. So I'm happy to keep this trailer vague. I'm happy to see that they're straying away from the axe that you had in God of War 2018 and switching it up with some more weapons, because I feel like it would have been pretty repetitive for players that have already played God of War 2018. So that was a pretty great note to end on for the state of play. And I gotta say that this state of play was probably the best I've seen from Sony. All the games were pretty much top notch, except for Wonderlands. That game still sucks. The trailer still sucks. And yeah, the host was a little annoying, but that's kind of what you have to deal with when you're going into these presentations. There's always going to be a somewhat annoying host that breaks up all the amazing games just to talk about something that doesn't matter. Other than that, it was fantastic. And I wonder if anybody is ever going to top that.